I want to share a few things with everyone so that we can have a good send-off in your minds for our Dharma brother Justin. I don't want you to come to Kechara Church here with a preconceived notion of how a funeral should be or how a ceremony should be. Each tradition is very different. The tradition I come from comes from 2,600 years of doing ceremonies, funerals, and whatnot. The particular tradition that I come from is the Tibetan tradition, of which Justin took refuge in and acknowledged as his faith. When a person is living, all the experiences that they have is through 5 cognitive channels. And I'm going to make this very simple because these are things we studied in the monastery for 20 years to get a degree, a PhD in Buddhism. But I'm going to make it real simple for you. Everything that we perceive, we call it through the 5 cognitive channels. Feeling, taste, touch, smell, hearing, mind. These 5 cognitive powers reside, if you have a human body, in the body. It is not a part of the body, but it is in relations to a body for a short time. If the mind or the cognitive power of the mind is stuck with the body, then if people have brain problems or they have brain difficulties, then it will affect their personalities completely. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is that our body is connected to our mind, but it's not a part of our mind. At the time of death, there are 7 stages of absorption. The 7 stages of absorption are where the winds of the body from the gross cognitive powers of our body start to absorb. I know that's a little technical. I'll explain. The eye consciousness will start to dissolve. The ear consciousness will start to dissolve. The smell consciousness, the taste, the touch, the feeling, the 5 consciousness will start to dissolve. And at that moment, when the person is dying, it is very important we don't cry. We don't touch them. We don't disturb them. We don't make noise. You may think, how is that possible? It is possible because we can do anything we want for a person we love. So therefore, when the person is dying, their winds are gathering. In our bodies, according to Chinese medicine and Tibetan Tantra, there are 82,000 channels converged into the chakras throughout our body. And those we can use in higher tantric meditations such as Vajrayogini. We have very renowned high lamas of Tibet. For example, my teachers, who I have seen and witnessed, can predict their death, tell you when they're going to die, write down the date and the time and the place of their death, and you will find that notebook after they have died. They will also tell you who their parents will be, the region they will be reborn in, the time and the place, and in some cases, the name. Soon, a group of my students will be sent to the monastery for the witnessing of an ordination of a very high incarnation that has been found, a very high incarnation. This incarnation now is 6 years old, but when he was 3, he was already asking for his students by name. He was already able to speak like his previous life. He was able to recognize people, and he's just a 3-year-old child. And his father is not even Tibetan. So this child now is growing up and maturing and showing us reincarnation very clearly. Very, very clearly. Now, when the winds gather from our eyes, our ears, our speech, our nose, our body, it dissolves into a central channel. In our bodies, we have 72,000 channels that converge into 3. The three channels are Za Uma, Za Rongya, Za Gyongma. Means the central channel, the left, and the right channel. When the winds gather, they gather into these 3 channels, and it's very important that, you just wait, it's very important that at that moment, we recite the names of the Buddhas or the Yidams or the practices the person is dying of, to let them remember. Because why? They can still hear us. They can still recognize. So at that moment, instead of saying, oh, what's going to happen to me? I miss you. Don't leave me. This is not fair. Stop. In Buddhism, it's always about selflessness, not selfishness. When a person's dying, we don't think about ourselves. We think about that person. And we focus on that person. And we make sure that person's going to be okay, not us. We will work on ourselves, our feelings, and our sadness after we have sent this person off. Now, when that is happening, then the winds converge into the central channel. It will rest there. A great meditation master may stay in that meditation for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 20 days. One monk, 6 years ago, stayed in that meditation in South India for 28 days. The doctors came, the police came. Why? You can't keep a corpse that long. But it was not decomposing. It's pictures, recorded, scientifically checked. Doctors came, not 1, 2. They wouldn't allow our doctors. They wanted real Indian doctors. The police came. They checked the monk. The monk is not breathing. There's no heart rate, no heartbeat, nothing. But there's no rigor mortis. And he's sitting in meditation. This year, my Guru, Khyentse Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche, my Guru, Khyentse Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche, did the same thing for 3 days in the South Indian heat. Brian, Ben Kui went there to witness. And the monks sat outside to do prayers. This is what we can achieve if we put our lives towards spiritualism. If we put our lives toward pleasure, gaining, money, fun, entertainment, then at the time of death, it will be the biggest fear of our lives. Now, when the person has finished meditating there, there's 3 ways they can leave their body. And I'm talking about their mind. 3 ways. From here up, from here to here, and from here down. If they leave from here up, they will take a rebirth in our 3 higher realms, as Buddha spoke about. If they leave from here to here, mediocre rebirth. Rebirth maybe as a human with some defects. Maybe human born with a lot of problems in their life. And if they leave their body through the lower regions, anywhere in the lower regions, they'll take rebirth in one of the 3 lower realms. So when the person is dying, yes, CPR is important. Yes, prayers are important. Yes, to hold their hands and all that is important. But in the Buddhist higher tantric teachings by Lord Buddha, which he expounded to us 2,600 years ago, do not disturb their meditation. So what we need to do is, we need to go to the body and quietly recite their guru's name. The name of the Buddha they were most associated with. If there's someone that always criticized monks, criticized gurus, criticized association, you don't recite that to them. Because they created bad karma with their lamas and their monks and sangha. So the bad karma would open. So someone that criticized monks and their gurus all the time, if you say, oh, monk this, monk that, you mean the bad karma open. So if their particular Buddha was Amitabha, or if they believed in Jesus Christ, or if they believe, it doesn't matter what they believe in, because what they believe in is just a method to leave the body correctly. If their Buddha was Tsongkhapa, Vajrayogini, Setrap, Justin, Setrap. Remember your practice. Remember your prayers. Leave. You would do that to him. And then the next thing you would do is, you will take the most sacred object that you may have, which I don't have here. You take the most sacred object that you have, and you rub their head. Why? You want their consciousness to leave through the topmost orifice. Because the high masters, and in the Vajrayogini Tantra, we are given the practice every single day, it's called Poa, to meditate, how to leave our body. So when the time comes, you leave in a controlled manner. Now, after you've done that, the consciousness will leave. You may sit down. The consciousness may leave. When the consciousness leaves, this is what people who are connected to the deceased person should do. All right? If you are their teacher, if you are their husband or wife, if you are their mother or father or siblings or brothers, whatever you're feeling, guilt, sadness, mixed emotions, let it go. They're gone. There's no use anymore. Whatever you should have done for them, you should have done for them while they were alive. Whatever you have done for them that you should have done, you should be happy you have done for them when they were alive. But when they have passed away, there's no point in crying. There's no point in doing a lot of rituals. There's no point in doing a lot of speeches. Let me tell you why. Whatever you were supposed to do for them, if you didn't do, it's too late. And the years of difficulties you've created for them, or they created for you, the karma will come back. If you've done wonderful things for the person, and you've shown respect and love and care and given their minds happiness, as Lord Buddha has taught us to do for people, then when they have passed away, you have nothing to worry about. Let me tell you why. Because you've done everything that you should have done when they were alive. Now, when they have passed away, there are 49 days in which a person has to take rebirth. They will take 7 consecutive deaths, means in the bardo. They will be in a formless body. The body will be without form, but it's mind only. Buddha described 3 states of existence. Sukh, Sume, Deja. They will abide in the formless realm until they take rebirth. Now, during that time when they're in the bardo state, it's different for everybody, all right? This is just a general rule, not the rule for everyone. When they enter the bardo state, they will go to places where they are familiar with. They will go to their families and friends. They'll go to all the places that they loved in life immediately. For those of us who have the second sight or sensitive, you'll feel their presence in the room or near you. Sometimes a wind or a gust. Now, what the family can do now is this. Please remember this. Put all your feelings aside for the moment. Whatever is done and not done is over. For 49 days, if you have advanced practice, you do advanced practice and dedicate it to them. If you don't, this is what you can do. The family members may set up a shrine of anything they believe in, because Buddhism embraces all faiths. In our case, we put a statue or a picture of Lama Tsongkhapa, Shakyamuni, Avalokiteshvara, Tara. And every single day we gather as a family and we sit together. We offer one light and we sit together and we make peace with ourselves. And we make peace with the person that has passed away and we let them go. Because if you have a lot of feelings that are kept up, you may keep them here. If you keep them here too long, they may remain as a spirit. Is there hundreds of haunted cases around the world? We Malaysians here have many stories about that. Not everybody could be hallucinating. What happens is, every single day, let go of what has happened. Let go. And carry on your life from now. You recite Om Mani Padme Hum 1,000 times every single night for 49 days, and you dedicate it for them. You can visualize the person that has passed away, and you can visualize from the Buddha, from Shakyamuni, or Tsongkhapa, or whatever Buddha you're focusing on, lights going to this person and telling them to enter the light, to go. We're not asking you to go because we want you to go. We're not asking you to go because we want you to go. We're asking you to go because we love you. We're asking you to go because you have to continue your journey. You have to continue your next rebirth. And we are here to support you. Because we love you, our conditioning is not set on you. How do I know this? Where did I learn this from? When I was about 11 or 12, a beloved uncle of mine passed away, and it affected the family tremendously. His name was Uncle Abusha. He was an immigrant from Kalmykia, which is Russia. He worked very hard in the 50s, and he survived, and he brought his family over, and he lived a good life. He didn't drink. He raised 5 kids. He worked hard. He didn't run around with women. He was a very good person, and he loved his family tremendously. And because of that, the impact on the family when he died was tremendous. And their tears, I remember, was inconsolable. And they were so lucky because at that time, the Dalai Lama was visiting the United States. And they managed to procure an audience with the Dalai Lama in New York. And they went to see. I wasn't invited to go, but I wanted to. And they had a private audience with Dalai Lama, and that is the advice they gave them. Because when my family members came back, that's what they told me. So today, I am relating to you an advice not from Tenma Rinpoche, but advice from His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. And I think Justin deserves the best advice. Now, for 49 days, we should make peace with the person that has passed away. Let me tell you why again. Let them go. If you're highly attached to them, out of love, you've had a good life with them, and you keep thinking about them, you keep them here. If you've had a bad relationship with them, and you feel guilty, or they feel guilty, and it's unresolved, they will be here, because they can't leave. So you need to be the one with strength and let it go. Let me tell you why. Whatever we had difficulties about with the people who passed away, it has no meaning now. If we had arguments about a girl, a family, money, business, house, the sky, a cow, a horse, if we had arguments with them about these things, you know what? They're dead. I say this with respect, they're dead. And it doesn't matter anymore. They have to let go. So you know what? You let go. You know why you should let go? Because deep down inside, no matter what differences we have with people we love, out of love we let go. In the Buddhist practice, it's better to do this while they're alive, not when they're dead. You can spend $20 million on the best funeral in the world, but whatever you've done to them that you've harmed them during their life is not going to make up for in the funeral. But the best way to make up for is to transform your minds as a dedication to the person that we love. Now, in the Buddhist text, when the mind, the physical gross, G-R-O-S-S, aggregates dissolve into the subtle mind, the subtle mind will abide at the heart area. That's very important. At that time, we have to say things. If they're near their guru, in the Buddhist text, and you can Google it to make sure I'm telling you accurately. If they're dying and they're near their guru, it is considered that that person is of the highest virtues, the biggest merits. Why? Because their guru can send them to a good place. My teacher had a sponsor named Robert Stone in the USA. Robert Stone died of a heart failure in his sleep. He was 36, around 35, 36. He was a very wealthy Jewish man, and he wanted to become a monk, but because his mother opposed, out of deep love and respect for his mother, he didn't become a monk, but he stayed in the center, and he sponsored Geshe-la, and he sponsored me too, part of the way. He died in his sleep. Everybody was in shock. There was no symptoms, there was no signs, there was no nothing. The police came to check, the coroners came to check, they came to the center, they checked, nothing. He passed away. And what was incredible was, 3-4 years later, another one of Geshe-la's students, his name is Paul Kane, gave birth to a bouncing, cute, adorable baby boy. And the Dalai Lama recognized him as a reincarnation of Robert Stone, the Dalai Lama himself. And this young boy showed very similar characteristics to the deceased Robert Stone. He was very attracted to Geshe-la. He was very attracted to the Gompa, to the Tanka, to the statues. He hugged Geshe-la. He grabbed onto Geshe-la's robes. And they're like, what's wrong with this kid? You never met Geshe-la in your life. What is this? And Dalai Lama confirmed that Robert Stone came back. Gelek Rinpoche, another great teacher who lives in the United States, had a student named Gelongla. I met him. He's an Austrian monk. And he's quite fierce, quite loud, quite rude, quite direct, opposite of Justin. Justin, if you're lucky if he talked. I used to tell Justin, your mother gave you a mouth when you were born. Why don't you use it? And he would do this to me. Even the response was no sounds. So it's very rare, and I would make all kinds of jokes with him, things I cannot reveal right now because they're quite intimate. So this monk, when his time was coming, was very strange. Suddenly we all heard. His teacher told him to come to America. This monk didn't have much money. His teacher doesn't have much money. I met his teacher and him. He flew to America, and he stayed with his teacher for a few days, and you know what happened? On the day that he died, he was around 40. On the day he died, his teacher called him into the room, and he put his head in his lap, and he stroked him. He stroked Gelongla, and Gelongla passed away that way. We're like, and you know what? When I heard that, I prayed that would happen to me. That my teacher would stroke my head as I'm dying. And guess what? Gelongla came back as a young Chinese girl. Okay, this is a different story. He wanted to have a Chinese girl's body. I don't know why. Okay, let's not go deeper. This is a wake. Let's not turn it into a crackpot kind of joke thing. He wanted to have a Chinese woman's body, specifically a Chinese woman. This Austrian monk. And guess what? He was recognized. He didn't come back as a Rinpoche. He's not, Gelongla Rinpoche or something. He's officially recognized as returning back in the form of a young Chinese girl, connected with his teacher again. Now, when Justin had his accident, I was upstairs in my room talking to a group of people, and JP ran up and told me that Justin had fallen, and he's unconscious. So I said, get the ambulance, quick, fast, because I know Malaysian ambulances. They'll come and get you in your next life when you're giving birth to yourself again. Yes, they will come when you're taking rebirth again. I know Malaysian ambulances. They're just as bad as the general ambulances in LA. Then I said, wait a minute. I asked them a few more questions. I went downstairs. And I said, where's Justin? They said they took him in a car. My gut feeling at that moment was, call him back. Because I have something very precious for my teacher that's very holy. And I wanted to place that on Justin's head. I wanted to place that on Justin's head to bless him. If he was to come to life, he will come to life. If he was to pass away, the last thing that was put on his head was something extremely sacred. And as I told you, here is the most important. So they brought him back because he only left for about 2-3 minutes. And he came back, and I saw him. His eyes was open, he was looking straight up, and he wasn't moving. So I took the item and I put it on his head, and I channeled. And I asked Justin's Buddha to come forth and bless him. Because you see, I don't have any power. And he was blessed, and I recited some prayers. Then I told him to take him immediately. Then Dr. Lance told me that right after that, he felt his pulse going off. So in my heart, by the time he reached the intersection lights, Dr. Lance said there was no pulse. My point, I'm glad I was able to do that for him before he passed and follow my instincts. Immediately after that, I went, sat down, and I set up for puja and to do a ritual for him. I called up, well, I had my assistants call up the monastery, and we had 15 senior monks. I'm talking about monks in their 70s, 80s, very practiced. Do immediately the Vajrayogini self-initiation and the 35 confessional Buddhas. And I asked the monks, what would be the best thing for this person? They immediately said to me, Vajrayogini self-initiation. And this practice can only be done by the most senior of the monks. 15 monks immediately went to the prayer hall of the monastery. I sponsored it all. Sponsor means what? I paid for the ang pao we give to each of them, also the ritual cakes, the items, and the equipment that they need. You don't pay the monks for any services. You offer an ang pao. And they did the ritual. They did it for 2 days straight because I wanted to make sure that Justin has a good send-off. On top of that, I did mine. Then I've instructed my household, the Ladrang, to do, for 49 days, dedication rituals for Justin Ripley. So every single day, we offer 21 candles to his Buddha's mantra and practice, and a group will sit together every single day in the Ladrang and to do dedication for Justin Ripley. I am not doing this to make their family feel better. I'm doing this because everybody in the Ladrang loved Justin. Simple as that. Now, in Buddhist ceremonies, I've already done his funeral. His consciousness is not around anymore. On that very day, I did a divination. A divination is to see into the future. My divination was authorized by my teacher. So I did a divination, and I asked a question 3 times consecutively. Basically, will Justin take a good rebirth? And I slipped in nearby. And the divination came out 3 times, yes, he will take a good rebirth. After I saw that, I was at peace. You see, I am informed to pray for the dead almost on a weekly basis. Every single week of my life, I am informed someone has died. My friend's parents' mother, this person's auntie, this person's grandmother, this person's son. Every single week of my life, I get a message that I need to pray for someone. Someone has died. That's my life. Okay, that is my life. So according to the Buddhist tradition of doing funerals and sending off a person's mind and consciousness, we have done everything. And I am at peace. At peace doesn't mean we don't miss him. At peace doesn't mean we don't think about him. At peace means I know I've done everything I can. I didn't disturb the family, or I didn't ask Kechara members to ask the family to do anything, or to donate, or help, or give anything. Why? I know I can handle it. Now, I have asked my students to bring me some of Justin's hair, and some of his ashes, if I may, because this is what I wish to do. There's a special ritual, very, very, very esoteric. It's called rucho. It's with people's bones, ashes, hair, and nails. You do a ritual. So in their lifetime, if they have done things that were very harmful and bad, and they will take rebirth in one of the 3 lower realms, as Buddha has stated, this ritual will purify them. It's not guaranteed, but it will help tremendously. Afterwards, you will take their bone, their hair, their nails, or their ashes, and you will put it inside a stupa for people to collect merit. Because we believe when you put it inside a stupa and you put relics and sutras and prayers and images of the Buddha, whoever makes prayer at the stupa, whoever circumambulates around the stupa, the merits will go to Justin. So I will keep a part of his items, his hair, and his ashes, if I may, for KWPC. I will send the other half to the monastery for the monks to consecrate, for the monks to bless, and for the monks to keep, to put inside a stupa or a statue to be worshipped for hundreds of years from today on. I will arrange that. I will also arrange a memorabilia for Justin in the monastery, which is creating a large statue of a particular Buddha and filling it up traditionally and putting it there in Justin's name, so that every single day, hundreds of pilgrims who visit the temple will pray to this image and the merits will be dedicated to Justin again. Why am I doing that? Justin sent me an SMS about a month ago. And the SMS said, "Dear Rinpoche, I'm not going to quote you verbatim, but I'm going to tell you what he said. Dear Rinpoche, I'm very happy with what I'm doing. And I want to do this for the rest of my life. And I want to make it up to KWPC. And I want my family members to see it. And I want KWPC to arise to be a benefit to so many. And I want to be a part of this mission, this goal, and this endeavor. So I commit to you for the rest of my life," which came out to be true, "the work of benefiting others through Kechara House." He wrote me that SMS. I kept it for days. I forwarded it to a very few people because it was very private, very personal. And he said a few other things. And in a series of SMSs before that, he would say to me that when you talk about his family, because I don't know his family, I don't know who, 'cause as I said, Justin doesn't talk. Okay, so I don't know anything about his family from him. I know a little bit about his family from Joy, and a little bit more from Joy's twin sister, Joanne. But of course, I haven't talked to Joanne about the family for over a decade. This was when Joanne was trying to hook up with Jason. Yes. You see, when Joy first married her handsome, beautiful prince from New Zealand, she said to me, "Guess what? My sister's marrying a moree." I said, "What's a moree? I've never heard of that." She says, "Oh, it's the beautiful indigenous people from New Zealand. That's the original people before the white people came," or something like that. I don't know, something along that lines. And I said, "Oh." And I said, "Okay." She says, "And guess where I'm going for my holidays?" And I said, "Joanne, where?" She says, "I'm going to New Zealand." I said, "Why? To enjoy the climate?" She goes, "No, I want to hook up with her brother, his brother." I said, "Who's that?" She goes, "Well, he's got one unmarried brother, and wouldn't that be neat, a double wedding?" You said that, I swear to Buddha. Of course, Jason's very handsome. So she says, "I'm going to go there to hook up with his brother, and we're going to have a double wedding." This is Joanne's way of saying that she accepts what her sister is doing, and she likes Justin. This is the way she said it, because Joanne doesn't like to talk on an emotional basis. She doesn't like to show her feelings, because she's a very tough man. She doesn't like to show you what's inside. She doesn't want to open herself up to you. So this is her way of saying she likes Justin a lot. He's a nice guy. And when I met Justin and Joy, well, Joy was no Joy. Joy was the club queen of Kuala Lumpur. She was young. She was pretty. She's still pretty. She was strong, and she was in control. And Justin had long reggae hair, Bob Marley wig, but it was real. And he was much thinner that time, okay? He was very thin. And she and he used to go out clubbing. And you know what they do in clubs. They meditate. They burn incense. They solicit the Buddhas to bless the planet. They don't smoke, they don't do drugs, they don't drink alcohol, none of that, no. They actually go to clubs. Clubs in Malaysia, you go there to worship and pray and meditate. Look at Joanne. Joanne's nearly enlightened. And that's what they were doing for 4 or 5 years. And Joy kind of liked me from a distance. Justin didn't like me at all. He didn't hate me. Justin, no reaction. He just looks at you. And then slowly, he started attending one talk, and another talk, and another talk. And I realized something. Justin's highly intelligent. In fact, I used to tell Joy he's smarter than Joy. Sorry. Yeah, very intelligent. And he started asking questions privately. And I realized that he's highly, highly intelligent. Although he doesn't talk, doesn't mean it's not going in. And then I met him and his brother. You look the same, by the way. Just kidding. Anyways, I met him and his brother. And at that time, they had some family financial affairs to resolve. So Jason couldn't stay on longer. I don't know the details. And Justin stayed on, but we didn't work very close. It was only in the last 2-3 years that Justin started getting close, working in the Ladrang. And I got close with Justin, physically close. Physically close means what? I mean, he was right in my house with me. He didn't want money. We almost became twins. We both shaved ourselves bald, and we both wear all black shirts and pants. In fact, he used to wear my shirts and pants. Why? Because I couldn't fit into the previous ones. And he just stayed in the Ladrang. He's not after money. He's not after food. He's not after name. He doesn't fight with anyone. He doesn't argue. Rarely does he show you an angry face. Once in a while when Joy walks in. Otherwise, no. Very rare. I mean, you know husband and wife, you know. They all fight, in Joy's case, once in a while. And Justin just worked. Justin will do any job that was necessary. No ego, no pride, no airs. None. Anything. You know, when I'm pulling into the Ladrang gates, he will come out and help me out of the car. And if I bought things, he would help me carry it. All the time. It wasn't once in a while, it was all the time. He would cook. He's a good cook, by the way. He'd wash dishes. He'd mop. He'd vacuum. He'd watch the dogs. He would drive people here and there. He would take care of the gardeners. When we had pujas, he would join in for pujas. Anything he would do. And he got along with everyone. I mean, everyone. And that's amazing for me because I get along with very few people. Everyone. And he was just so simple. Very simple. And I remember about 3-4 months back, I gave him a watch. And I just said, Justin, I really like working with you. And I enjoy it. And I feel good with you. I want to give you a gift. And he wore that watch every day. And it was an honor for me because that means he likes me. That it meant something to him. And we would eat with each other almost every day. It isn't just with Justin. I have 15 to 20 people working with me. They work downstairs, I'm upstairs. One day I woke up last year and I said to Justin and Joy, she was there at the time, and I said, you know what? I want to start a blog site. I want to talk about my feelings, what I do, my experiences, my background, because I keep getting asked over and over hundreds of times, and I want to make a blog site. So you know what? It's just like Justin. We went downstairs. Joy did the designs. Justin did the back end. He was very good on programming. Very good. He did the back end. I gave the content and the pictures. He did the back end. Joy did the designs. And then my blog site appeared. So on my blog site, I have now over 1,400 articles, videos, teachings, pictures, whatever. It's nearing 984,000 views. So another 10, 20,000, it's 1 million views, page views. And behind the back end was Justin, Ben Kui, Lou, a few other people. And we get bombarded with letters and emails now about how our blog site have changed people's lives and how it affected people's lives. And some people write in that they wanted to kill themselves. But reading our blog site and what we had on it changed their minds. I mean, we get letters like that. Why am I telling you that? That's what Justin did. And he didn't want credit. He didn't want credit. He didn't ask for anything. In the 4 or 5 years I've been working with him, he has never asked me for one single item or even hinted. Recently, I bought him a computer. I always buy him phones and all that stuff because he likes technology. And then for the last half year, he and I have been happily in our rooms like two witches over a brew, plotting how to bring Jason here to do Dharma. Do you know why? Because that was his fondest wish. That was his wish. I don't want to say last wish, but that was his wish. Because when you say Jason, his face lights up. When you talk about his mom, he's very soft. Very, very soft demeanor. Most of us, when we talk about our mom, we become very soft. When I talk to Paris about her mom, she's just a wet rag. And that's what he was happy to do. And he was planning, and he was working towards that. And he was singing. Justin singing. He doesn't even talk. Justin was singing and making, I didn't know, he doesn't do this around me because I'm holy schmoly, but he was singing and he was prancing around, making faces through the windows at the other people working there because his mom and his brother are coming. He was singing and prancing and dancing. That's what they told me. I didn't see it because his mom and his brother is coming. And I asked him, with respect to the family, how's your mom going to feel with the other son coming here and doing Dharma work? My mom's all right now. My mom's all right. Jason's done a good job explaining things to her and talked to her and took care of her. And it's going to be very difficult for her, for him not to be around his mom because he loves her very much. But they've worked out some program that I wasn't sure about, having her travel around the world. And the mom seems to be happy with that. Meaning she'll be here for a few months, she'll go back, she'll go here, I don't know exactly where. Keep the mom on the run. And I went, wow. And this is what he was planning for the last few months. Plotting, planning, plotting, and planning. Literally plotting and planning. And you know what? The only time he talked was about joy and about Jason. When you talked about Jason, he talked. I don't know other family members. I don't mean any disrespect. He talked. And he would be animated. And he'd be excited. And he would tell me what he SMS'd Jason, and what Jason said back, and what he said back, and what Jason said back, and how he's going to do this to Jason, and Jason did this, and I'm going, oh dear. Can you be happy about me? I was a little jealous. No, I wasn't jealous, I was happy. And that's what he was dancing and prancing about on the last day. And 2.5 to 3 hours before his shocking demise, he was in my room. And we were upstairs, we were talking. This is what we were talking about, some of it. I'm not going to tell you everything. It's too long. Because I'm going to be having a retreat house in the mountains, in the forest. Because if I had my choice, I wouldn't be here. I would be in the mountains or in the monastery. I have no problems being in the mountains. I don't miss any amenities except water. And we were talking about having that place, and Justin can work out of that place. Because it'll be quiet. It'll be in the forest, not far from here. And he likes that. And he can do 100% computer work. And then we even talked about Joy. And how Joy would have liked to have been up there with him. That's what we're talking about. And we're talking back and forth about that and plotting about that. And then when Jason gets here, what he's going to have Jason do. Because Jason doesn't know what's going on here. That's what we were talking about, plotting away. About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I gave him some money. I think about 1,500 ringgit. I wrote him a check. I didn't have cash. And I said to him, you know what? You haven't seen your mom in I don't know how long. when they come, please take him out to a good dinner, a good place. And there was no reaction from him. Then I went out. 2 hours later, he sent me the most touching SMS. Something along the lines that his mother, his brother, his family are very important to him, and he's extremely happy about them coming here, and he didn't have much money, and that he is so excited to take them out. He's so excited to show them the town and all that stuff. And thank you so much for this money. It really touched my heart, he said. Why am I telling you that? How he was looking forward to this visit. He took refuge with me, which is Buddhist baptismal. He traveled with me. He did Dharma work with me all the time. I bought him vitamins and supplements. When he was sick, when I knew he was sick, I would send people to take him to the clinics, as I do all my students. I bought him clothes. It was not an obligation, it was a pleasure. I bought him the instruments he needed to do his work. I ate with him. I shared dreams with him. I threw BFs with him. I screamed at him. I complimented him. He spent a lot of time with me. So when he passed away, as a Buddhist teacher, I know what's happening. But as a human being, I kept waiting for him. To walk in. Yes, as a Buddhist teacher, I'm strong. But underneath all the robes, I'm just another human being. I've done, according to the Buddhist tradition, what I need to do for a person who has passed away. I've done. And there's a few other things I will continue to do. But I know that his family are not Tibetans. And some of them are not Buddhists, which is beautiful and fine. So I said to my students that we need to have a memorial for him. That we need to have a video of him that I want to blog and to tell the world how he has affected so many people's lives. That we need to get together and talk about him and share with each other how much he affected our lives positively. I wanted us to get together and have family and friends talk and express their sorrow, their joy, their pain, their loss with each other. This is not a Buddhist tradition, but you know what? It is a human tradition. So I sent a bunch of very nasty SMSs out yesterday, the day before, for the liaisons. They're used to it. They enjoy it. They look forward to it. If I'm not around, they'll save it and reread it. That we need to have a memorial and a wake for Justin so that we can let each other know how he has affected us. It's not the end of Justin Ripley. I will take the personal items of his body for the monastery and for the High Lamas to bless. I will put his personal items up in KWPC, and KWPC will manifest. The first stage of building KWPC plans are already okay. All right already. I wanted so much for Justin Ripley to be up in KWPC in the mountains with the rest of us. And he wanted so very much too. But you know what? Maybe he will be up there, but just in another form. In another body. In a few years' time, I'm not going to give you the details at this moment. It's not appropriate. In a few years' time, I will be consulting very powerful forces within the Tibetan tradition of oracles. And I will ask again, where is Justin? He will take trance and tell me in a qualified monk. If it is appropriate, I'll let everybody know at that time. I offer my apologies for this late wake tonight because I wanted everybody to be here. Well, actually, our people wanted everybody to be here, and they have to come after work. And it isn't every day we can have such a wake to say goodbye to Justin. So if I'm going to be exhausted and tired tomorrow, it's okay. Justin is worth it. I have asked Kechara House members, and I've had them on standby for any help and assistance in any way that we can offer the Ripley family. I have not sent people to the Ripley family to say, we wish to do this, we wish to do this, we wish to do that, only for one reason, out of deep respect. I think his mother has every right to do what she wishes with her son, and we will go along with it. If she wishes to have a Buddhist ceremony, which we did, we're fine. She wishes to have a Catholic ceremony, we're fine. It doesn't really matter. Why argue about religion? I had told Kechara members not to interfere into their planning and what they wish to do, although they're dying to interfere. They're dying to be involved. They're dying to do something. Some of them have been crying inconsolably for days. Example, the big, butch, masculine Lou. Don't say Justin around him. He won't be able to control himself because they work very closely together. I guess when you're a kind person, you're a giving person, you're a generous person, and you're a sincere person, you affect people tremendously. I guess when your heart is open and sincere, and you're human, you make mistakes too, but you do the best you can. And you treat everybody around you with respect and love and dignity, as he did. I guess you'll affect everybody and everybody around you deeply. I guess when you're compassionate and you're giving, you'll affect everybody around you deeply. And that's what he was, what he is. Compassionate, giving, kind, very gentle. He never, ever makes any trouble or difficulties for anyone. Recently, I scolded him because I saw him sitting up on the sofa sleeping. I just bought the sofa and he thought it's for sitting up on it and sleeping. I said to him, why don't you go and lay down and go to sleep? You shouldn't sleep like that. It's very bad. One day can, every day cannot. So that day I had the Ladrang buy a new mattress and pillows and all that to set up another room upstairs for him to rest. Not to stay over, because I've told him millions of times, go home and hang out with Joy. You're still married. I would tell him that. I don't know why. Justin's a workaholic. Now, what am I trying to say? We interacted every single day. Every single day. All day long. We became like family, more than guru and disciple. Saying we're going to miss him is an understatement. As in the turnout here from Kechara members, this is not all the members. You can see the impact he's had on people. For days, the Ladrang was lost. empty. There's no Justin. It's not like losing a car or a plant wilting. We'll not see Justin in his form ever again. But let me switch back to the Buddhist teacher. I will make sure, to the best of my abilities, that I will dedicate merits for his good rebirth. And in the Buddhist tradition, when someone dies, they would use that person's wealth, if they had any wealth, to take a part of it and distribute to the monasteries. They will offer ngudin to the high lamas. They'll offer robes to the monks. They'll offer dana to the monks. They'll ask the whole Dharma community to do prayers for him. So in the Buddhist tradition, when a person has died, we will take a part of his wealth, if he has, and we will give it to the monasteries to offer dana to the monks, robes to the monks. We will erect statues and commemorate it to them. Why? Because as long as the statue remains, that person's essence will be with the statue, and the merits can be dedicated to that person. I will do that for Justin. Many of our online works that have touched tens and tens of thousands of people, Kechara websites, blog sites, that have touched tens and tens of thousands of people, were done by Justin. He was behind it, quietly and consistently. His knowledge, his contribution is not something that can be measured, and I'm not being diplomatic. His contribution cannot be measured.